Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmates. May and generous Bulac for reporting the topics of ecosystems, function, and characterization. Ecosystem functions is the capacity of natural processes and components to provide goods and services that satisfy human needs, either directly and indirectly. Ecosystem functions are subset of ecological process and ecosystem structure. Each function is the result of the natural processes of the total ecological subsystem of which it is a part. Natural processes, in turn, are the result of complex interaction between biotic living organism and abiotic chemical and physical components of ecosystem, the universal driving force of matter and energy. Example of biotic living things. There are bacteria, fungus, animals, plants, protists. Abiotic, the non-living things. There are minerals, light, water, soil, air. There are four primary groups of ecosystem functions. First, regulatory functions. This group of functions relate to the capacity of natural and semi-natural ecosystem to regulate ecological processes and life support systems through biogeochemical cycles and other biosphere processes. In addition to maintaining the ecosystem and health biosphere, these regulatory functions provide many services that have direct and indirect benefits to humans, like clean air, water, soil, and biological control services. Second, habitat functions. Natural ecosystem provide refuge and reproduction habitat to wild plants and animals and thereby contribute to the conservation of biological and genetic and the evolutionary process. Production Third is production functions. Photosynthesis and nutrients uptake by autotrophs converts energy, carbon dioxide, water and nutrient into a wide variety of carbohydrates structures which are then used by secondary producers to create an even larger variety of living biomass. This broad diversity in carbohydrate structures provide many ecosystem goods for human consumption ranging from food and raw materials to energy resources and genetic materials. Fourth is information functions. Since most of human evolution took place within the context of an interdesticated habitat, natural ecosystem contribute to the maintenance of human health by providing opportunities for replication, spiritual enrichment, cognitive development, recreation, and aesthetic experiment.
Characteristics of an ecosystem. It is characterized by the presence of living or biotic components, plants, animals, bacteria, algae, and fungi, and non-living or biotic components light, shade, temperature, water, humidity, air, soil pressure, wind. Example of food chain. Ecosystem are types of characteristics of an example of food chain. Training are formed by regions, flora and fauna. The intermix of these maintained and form a natural position. Ang flora kay it refers to all plant life and ang fauna is refers to all animal life. Fauna cannot prefer their own food so they depend upon the flora for their food. Influences. These are highly influenced by the amount of watery heredity that exists in the soil and the position that they are in front of the meridians. Food ecosystems are characterized by maintaining a constant exchange of matter and energy that is passing from one living being to another through the soil, so-called food chains. Plants producing organisms capture solar energy and synthesize organic matter, food, both for themselves and for consumer organisms. Animals that take advantage of it, which addition can then feed on each another. Secondary features are decomposition. When the organisms die, the decomposers, bacteria and fungi act and transform them into nutrients through the soil, which will be used by the plants, thus starting new cycle. Kapag ang mga organismo ay namatay, ang mga nabubulok na bakterya at fungi ay kumikilos at binabago ang mga ito sa mga sustansya na sa pamagitan ng lupa at gagamitin ng mga halaman kaya magsimula ng bagong cycle. Autotrophs being are those capable of manufacturing or processing their foods. Among them are plants and fungi. They absorb their nutrients from the subsoil and from the sun. Ay ang mga may kakayahang gumawa ng pagproseso ng mga kanilang pagkain. Kasama ang mga ito ay ang mga halaman at fungi na sinipsip nila ang kanilang mga sustansya mula sa ilalim ng lupa at mula sa araw. Autotrophs are the producer in the food chain, meaning they create their own nutrients and energy. Kelp-like autotrophs create energy through a process called photosynthesis. Autotrophs ay ang mga producer sa food chain. Ibig sabihin sila ay gumawa ng sarili nilang nutrients at enerhiya. Ang kelp tulad ng karamihan sa autotrophs ay lumilikha ng enerhiya sa pamamagitan ng prosesong tinatawag na photosynthesis. Heterotrophs or consumer. In this group, all the beings that feed on living entities such as herbivores, carnivores, and parasites. Sa mga grouping ito ay lahat ng nilalang na kumakain ng mga nabubuhay na nilalang tulad ng herbivore, carnivore, at ang ilang paraseto. Ang carnivores kay eat other animals, then ang herbivores eat plants and seeds. Heterotrophs are known as consumers because they consume producer or other consumer. Dogs, birds, fish, and humans are all examples of heterotrophs. Heterotrophs occupy the second and third level in a food chain, a sequence of organisms that provide energy and nutrients for other organisms. Types of ecosystem. 5 types of ecosystem. Terrestrial ecosystem. There are those in which the living beings that live in the soil and subsoil. Aquatic ecosystem. They are places where living components develop their activities in the environment. Mixed ecosystem. They are places where living beings live in intermediate zone, have characteristics from the two types. Microbial ecosystem. They are made up of microscopic organisms that inhabit partially all environments, both aquatic and terrestrial, even within larger organisms such as intestinal microbial flora. Artificial ecosystem. They are those ecosystems created or intervened by the human being, for which they are also known as anthropic ecosystem. Thank you.